You may wonder how the predictive aspects of the Membership Success Center work. Let's have a look at how we predict the year-end membership results for a given club. So how do we do that? We use the same techniques that are used in any kind of forecasting, and we apply them as soon as we have enough data to go on. That starts about the 1st of October, 3 months into the Rotary year, and then we update our forecast each successive month. The biggest factor in predicting membership results for clubs involves the biggest influencer, which is the club's historical rate of attrition or terminations. Unlike your mutual fund, past performance of annual termination rates is an excellent predictor of future results. In fact, if nothing much changes in the club, the number of members terminated in a year will generally land right on the average of recent years. So knowing that, we have only a few questions to answer. First, is the club on pace to replace the likely number of terminations that will happen between now and the end of the Rotary year? Is the club attracting members at a sufficient rate to replace those likely to leave? And we know what that average has been. Another question, of course, is whether the club is attracting enough new members to not only replace its attrition, but also cover its intended net membership gain. That allows us to see the gap between the club's current pace of new member attraction and the pace needed to meet its membership goal. Or looking at it another way, what if we take a look at the pace of new member attraction, new members per month, and project that to the end of the year? With that number of forecasted new members, we can just subtract the average annual terminations, or attrition, and have a pretty good estimate of where the club will wind up from a net gain-loss perspective. So let's have a look at the Membership Success Center. All of that forecasting is done on the Club Progress Dashboard. When the dashboard opens, we see the annual average attrition figure up at the top. Scrolling down only slightly, we can see the club's membership goal and the easy math that determines the number of new members needed to reach their growth goal, plus the number needed to replace attrition. In this particular case, that will take 2 new members to grow from 38 to the goal of 40, plus 4 new members to replace the historical average membership loss. That's a total of 6 new members needed. We see that displayed up at the top of the page, and we see also that they have attracted 2 new members so far this year, meaning that they have 4 new members needed in order to get to their goal. Now let's take a look at a graphical representation. Notice the gold line. We call this the pace to goal line. It ramps from 0 on July 1st up to the 6 new members needed by the 1st of June. That leaves the month of June for any final course corrections needed. Unfortunately, the club has attracted only 2 members so far this year. Now you can see that gap. They should have attracted just over 5 members by the 1st of May, and they've attracted only 2. That gap is going to turn out to be highly predictive. So what do we expect the end of the year to look like? First, we do a projection of total new members by drawing an imaginary line from 0 through those 2 new members already attracted, and that comes out to a forecast of not any more. Basically, that's probably about where they'll end up the year, is with 2 new members. Now, we're forecasting losing 4, and having attracted only 2 gives us a forecasted net loss of 2 members. Now, let's roll back the clock and see what this might have looked like earlier in the game. Let's say we looked at this the 1st of January. What do we see? Well, first we see that there's a gap then at the pace of new members needed, a few over 3, and the number of actual new members attracted, which is 2. What that means is it was completely predictable as of the 1st of January that this club would likely be short of meeting its membership goal. But what would the year-end forecast have been then? Well, we draw that same imaginary line from July 1st through the 2 members attracted through the 1st of January, and we'd come up with a forecast of about 4 new members attracted through the end of the year, 2 every 6 months. That, considering the net loss of 4, they've already lost 3 of those, would have been a break-even forecast of 0 net gain loss instead of -2. Had the club taken a look at this the 1st of January and realized that they were already behind their pace of new member attraction, and then done some things differently in February, March, April, and May, they'd have had a far higher likelihood of meeting their membership goal this year. As you know from listening to the Weatherman, forecasting is not an exact science. It is, however, a good thing to pay attention to because a forecast based on hard data is a lot more likely to be accurate than a wild guess or a hope. I encourage you to take a serious look at your new member attraction progress using the Progress Dashboard. Take a look at that in the fall when you have plenty of time to pick up the pace of new member attraction, if that's what's necessary to meet your membership goal. Thanks for watching.